Imagine you could watch the entire history of humanity play out on a single clock. For hour after hour, almost nothing happens. Then, in the final few seconds, the clock seems to go mad. The hands spinning faster and faster, everything changing at once, faster than the eye can follow. That final frantic blur, that's now, that's you. Because the story of our species isn't only a story of change, it's a story of change that keeps getting faster, and we may be standing on the steepest part of the entire curve. For almost all of human existence, life barely changed at all. For more than 200,000 years, our ancestors lived as hunter gatherers, reading the land, following the herds, surviving. And a child born into that world would live essentially the same life as their grandparents, and their grandparents, and theirs. 100 generations could pass, and the shape of a human life stayed the same. Change was real, but it moved at the speed of deep time, not years, tens of thousands of years. This was the baseline. This was normal for very nearly everyone who has ever lived. Then, around 12,000 years ago, something broke the rhythm. In a few scattered places, humans began to plant seeds and stay put. Farming. It sounds modest. It changed everything. Surplus food meant villages, then cities. Cities meant specialists, priests, soldiers, builders, scribes. And within just a few thousand years came writing, bronze, iron, mathematics, empires. Now watch what just happened to the clock. The foraging age had lasted hundreds of thousands of years. The agricultural age reshaped the entire human world in only thousands. The pace of change had jumped massively, and not one person living through it could feel it happening. Now jump forward to about 250 years ago. Steam, coal, factories, the Industrial Revolution. And here, the compression becomes almost violent. In the span of 2 centuries, a flicker by historical standards, we went from horses to automobiles, from candlelight to electric cities, from letters carried by ship to voices carried around the planet in an instant. More raw transformation in 200 years than the previous 10,000 had produced. The unit of change had shrunk again, from thousands of years down to decades. For the first time, a single person could watch their entire world transform inside one lifetime, something no forager, no farmer had ever experienced. Let's put all of this on one graph. Along the bottom, time. Up the side, how much the human world transforms. Now plot the ages. The Stone Age, a line running nearly flat for hundreds of thousands of years. Agriculture, 10,000. The Industrial Era, a couple of hundred. The Digital Age that followed it, barely 70. Watch what the points do. Each revolution arrives sooner after the last one and delivers more. The line doesn't climb steadily, it bends. It curves upward, steeper and steeper, until it is almost vertical. This shape has a name. Some call it the law of accelerating returns. And the reason behind it is almost eerily simple. Each breakthrough hands us better tools to make the next breakthrough faster. Progress builds on progress. It compounds, like interest. And compounding growth never rises in a straight line, it explodes. Which brings us to the sharp tip of the curve, to right now. We are living through another one of these transitions, but this one may be unlike any that came before, because of what it changes. Every earlier revolution extended our bodies. The plow extended our hands, the engine extended our muscles. But the tools now arriving extend our minds, artificial intelligence, machines that compute in ways the human brain cannot follow. And that opens an unnerving possibility. Every revolution in history was driven by human thinking. But if we build machines that can improve themselves, intelligence designing greater intelligence, the curve could fold in on itself and climb faster than any human could ever track. Thinkers have a name for that hypothetical moment, the singularity, a point where change becomes so fast, so deep, that the world on the far side is genuinely impossible to picture from here. Now, is any of this certain? No. Curves that look exponential can bend, stall, or break. Predictions about the future are almost always wrong. This is a projection, not a prophecy. But even the cautious version is staggering. The transformation agriculture needed 10,000 years to deliver, and industry needed 200. The next one may arrive in decades, maybe less. So, what's over there? Past the steep part of the curve, honestly, nobody knows. And that is exactly the point. Ask a hunter gatherer to imagine a city, and you'd get a blank stare. Ask a medieval farmer to imagine the internet. Nothing. Every generation stands at a wall it cannot see over. And the wall keeps getting closer. Optimists see a world where disease is solved, energy is limitless, poverty ends, and we finally spread beyond this single planet. Others see the danger of holding a power we don't fully understand, moving faster than we can learn to steer it. And most likely, as always, the real future will be stranger than either side predicts. But strip away every guess, and one fact remains, and it's about you. For 200,000 years, being human meant being born into a world that would look basically the same on the day you died. You are among the first humans in all of history for whom that is simply no longer true. Here's the strangest part of all. Every generation before us that lived through an acceleration couldn't feel it. To the farmer, farming was just life. To the child of the factories, the machines were just the world. They were riding the curve, and they were certain they stood still. You don't have that excuse. You can see the graph. You know the change is happening right now under your feet at a speed no human before you has ever witnessed. And that isn't a burden. It might be one of the rarest things it is possible to be awake and paying attention at the steepest moment in the story so far. Out of every generation that has ever lived, you got to be here for this one. So look up, pay attention. You're watching the fastest chapter ever written, and you are in it. There's your curiosity for today. Stay curious.